Story 1. The Old Cabin. I grew up in a small rural town, where nothing ever really happened. One summer afternoon, I decided to go hiking deeper into the woods than I ever had before. I was following a deer trail when I stumbled upon something strange, a cabin, hidden behind thick trees, covered in moss. The place looked abandoned for decades, windows shattered, roof sagging, but the door was slightly open, as if waiting for someone. Against my better judgment, I stepped inside. The air was heavy with damp wood and rot. The floor creaked with every step. On the walls, there were deep carvings, symbols I didn't recognize, almost like runes. I explored cautiously. In one corner of the cabin, there was a pile of children's shoes. They looked old, moldy, but still recognizable. Suddenly, I heard heavy footsteps above me. The problem: there was no upstairs. My chest tightened. Then the sound shifted. It came from asterisk underneath asterisk. I found a small trapdoor leading to a basement. My curiosity got the best of me. I lifted it, shining my phone's flashlight down. The basement was empty, except for one thing: a single candle, still burning. And on the wall, scratched deep into the wood, was my full name. Not just my first name, asterisk my full name. I dropped the hatch and sprinted out of there without looking back. To this day, I don't understand how my name was written there. Nobody knew I was going hiking that day. Nobody. Story 2. The Abandoned School. During my college years, my friends and I loved urban exploring. One weekend, we decided to check out an abandoned elementary school on the edge of town. It had been closed for over 20 years after a fire, and locals said it was haunted. We snuck in at night through a broken window. Inside, the place looked like time had frozen. Chalkboards still had faint writing on them. Children's artwork faded on the walls. Desks overturned and covered in dust. The smell of mold and ash was everywhere. As we explored, we heard faint sounds. At first, it was just dripping water, but then came the unmistakable sound of asterisk children laughing asterisk. We froze. My friend whispered, "Did you hear that?" The laughter grew louder, echoing down the hallway. We followed it, thinking maybe some other kids had broken in, too. At the end of the hall, we found a classroom door. It was locked tight, but something was shaking it from the inside, violently. We called out, but the laughter instantly stopped, replaced by blood-curdling screams. We ran as fast as we could, but as we scrambled out, I looked back for one last time. Through the small glass window of that classroom door, I swear I saw the faint outline of a child's hand pressed against it. We never went back, and none of us ever spoke about it again. Story 3. The Wrong House. A few years ago, I was walking home from a late-night party. I wasn't drunk, but I was tired and disoriented. My friend lived only a few blocks away, and I had crashed there before. I reached what I thought was his house, noticed the front door was unlocked, and stepped inside. The place was eerily dark. The air smelled metallic, like rust or blood. The furniture felt off. Nothing matched my memory, but I brushed it off, assuming maybe my friend redecorated. I called out his name. No answer. As I moved deeper into the living room, I noticed photos on the wall. They weren't of my friend's family. They weren't of anyone I recognize. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw movement. In the far corner, a tall man was standing, completely still. His face was hidden in the shadows. In his hand, he was holding a kitchen knife. My stomach dropped. My legs froze. He whispered, in a voice so low it barely reached me, "You shouldn't be here." I bolted out the door and sprinted down the street. When I finally found my friend's actual house, it was 2 blocks away. To this day, I wonder, what would have happened if I had hesitated for even a second longer? Story 4. The Bunker. When I was about 16, my buddy and I discovered something behind his house. There was a patch of earth that looked unnatural, and after digging a bit, we found an old metal hatch. It was heavy, but we managed to pry it open. A staircase led underground into what looked like a forgotten bunker. At first, it was just dusty shelves and broken furniture. We joked about turning it into a secret hangout spot. But then, we found a door at the far end. It led into a smaller room. Inside were shelves lined with jars, hundreds of them. Each jar contained what looked like animal organs floating in murky liquid. Some of them didn't even look animal. We were both frozen, staring at them, when the hatch above slammed shut. We heard the metallic clank of it locking. Neither of us had touched it. Panic set in. We banged on the walls, screamed for help. After a while, silence. Then footsteps above us. Slow, deliberate. Whoever, or whatever, was up there. They didn't open the hatch. Eventually, after what felt like hours, we managed to force it open from the inside. We scrambled out, terrified. The next day, we returned with 2 more friends, determined to prove what we saw. But when we opened the hatch, the jars were gone. Every single one of them. The shelves were completely empty. We never went back into those woods again.